Students, in this video we will study about crystal field theory. So with respect to annual examination, it is very important for 3 marks. They may ask in the annual examination either octahedral complex or tetrahedral complex. So crystal field theory, CFT, crystal field theory or CFT. So assumption of crystal field theory. First assumption is ligands are treated as point charges in case of anionic ligands and dipoles in case of neutral ligands. The bond between central metal and the ligand is purely ionic. The 5d orbitals in free metal ion have same energy, or they are degeneracy level or degenerate, we can call same energy. In the presence of ligands, the d orbitals lose their degeneracy level and they will split into different energy level, and that splitting we will call it as crystal field splitting. In a crystal field splitting there are mainly two types. One is octahedral and one more is tetrahedral. So out of these two, one will be asked in the examination, octahedral or tetrahedral. See, crystal field splitting in octahedral complex. So if the metal is there, there will be d electrons, means d orbital will be there and electrons enters into d orbital. So there are 5 d orbitals, that is nothing but dxy, dyz, dxz, dx square minus y square and dz square. So these are the shapes of d orbitals. There are 5 d orbitals, the shapes of the 5 d orbitals. Now see, in an octahedral complex, the metal ion is at the center of the octahedral and the 6 ligands are its 6 corners, that is along the 3 axes, x-axis, y-axis and z-axis. See, you can see the ligands there. Now what happens as a ligand approaches along the 3 axes, means x, y, z, dx square minus y square and dz square orbitals. So these orbitals shape, if you see, these will come shape on the axis. So the ligand electrons approaching on the axis along the 3 axes, x and y and z. So whichever the orbitals are on the axis, so dx square minus y square and dz square experience more repulsion as these orbitals are oriented along the axis, dx square minus y square and dz square. The remaining 3 orbitals, those are nothing but dxy, dyz and dxz, are directed between the axis of ligand and hence experience less repulsion. You can see now that when the free metal is there, so all 5 d orbitals are having same energy. If you take average energy of those 5 orbitals, again average energy is also almost all 5 d orbitals are at same energy level. So when the electrons ligand approaches the metal, when the ligand approaches the metal, so what happens, the ligand approaches the metal, then the in that two orbitals, whichever comes on the axis, see, on axis dx square and dy z square comes. So these together, both the orbitals, we will call it as eg, dx square minus y square and dz square. These two orbitals we will call it as eg, and dxy, dxz and dyz together we will call it as t2g, t2g. So when the ligand approaches the metal, so that time the d orbital will split into different energy level. See, dx square minus y square dz square will move to the higher energy level. dxy, dyz, dxz comes to lower energy level, means T2g and EG. EG goes to higher energy level, T2g comes lower energy level. So this splitting only crystal field splitting, that is in octahedral complex. See, hence dx square minus y square and dz square, that is EG orbital, will rise it in the energy 3 by 5. 3 by 5 delta naught. Here delta is nothing but crystal field splitting energy, that is O, means octahedral. Then dxy, dyz, dxz are lowered in energy by 2 by 5 delta naught relative to average energy of spherical crystal field. See the energy difference. Here it is both 3 by 5 and 2 by 5 delta naught. Next, the differences in energy between the groups of d orbitals is denoted by delta naught, that is subscript O for octahedral complex. You can see delta naught. Already we know spectrochemical series. Already we have studied spectrochemical series. The spectrochemical series. So the crystal field splitting, that is delta naught, depends upon field produced by the ligand and the charge on the metal ion. So some ligand produces strong field, hence there will be a large splitting of d orbitals. Some ligands are produce weak field, hence small splitting of d orbitals. So ligands are arranged in a series in the order of increasing field strength. Such a series we will term as what? Spectrochemical series. So it is arranged in an increasing order. You can see now EDTA, ammonia, ethylene diamine, cyanido. These are strong field ligands. Carbonyl. So assigning the electrons in d orbitals of the metal ion in octahedral coordination entities. Now, if any octahedral complex you have taken, there if you take d electrons, octahedral splitting already you have studied. So T2G to EG, T2G EG. So d orbital will split into higher energy level EG will be there, lower energy level T2G will be there. If the given ligand is strong field ligand, then there will be high splitting, that is delta naught is greater than P. You can see higher energy level EG is there, below T2G is there. So weak field ligand, low splitting, that is delta naught is less than P. So P is nothing but here pairing energy. P is nothing but pairing energy. Now see, if the d electrons are present, if only one d electron is present, let us consider single d electron is present, then it will enter into T2G first one orbital. If two electrons are there, then second orbital it will enter. In both the cases, in strong field also, in weak field. When the three electrons are there, they will enter into third orbital. That is empty orbital in T2G. When the fourth electrons comes, when the D4 system comes in a strong field ligand, okay, for a strong field ligand, delta naught is greater than P here. Delta naught is greater than P. That's why what happens here, the fourth electron enters into T2G only. Means electron get pairs. In T2G itself, the electron gets pairs, fourth electron. But in weak field ligand, what happens? It will not come into the T2G. It will go to the higher energy level, that is nothing but EG. Because it is a low spin complex. You can see. So it gives T2G 3 electrons, EG 1 electrons. When it is a weak field ligand, that will be low splitting. So hence high spin complex. So weak field, high spin, strong field, low spin. If strong field ligand is there, low spin complex. Weak field is there, high spin complex. So now crystal field splitting in tetrahedral complexes. Crystal field splitting in tetrahedral complexes. Same as already we have studied in octahedral complexes. In a tetrahedral arrangement, imagine the four ligands are lying at alternate corners of cube to form tetrahedral geometry. See, so if you consider a cube, so all the four corners, all the four ligands will occupy the corner position. Means the ligand is between the axis. So in octahedral complex on the axis, in the tetrahedral complex between the axis, the ligands are present. See, now in a tetrahedral coordination entities, d orbital splitting is inverted. Inverted means exactly opposite to the octahedral complex. Because in octahedral complex on the axis the ligand along the axis the ligand will approach, but in a tetrahedral complex is between the axis the ligand will approach, and small compared to the octahedral field splitting. Octahedral splitting will be more, tetrahedral will be small. See, exactly opposite. So EG orbitals are below here and T2G are above. So T2G experience more repulsion compared to EG because dxy, dxz, dyz, these orbitals are between the shape of these orbitals are between the axis. You see the shape of the d orbitals. So that's why these orbital will experience more repulsion. That's why this will go to the higher energy level. Dx square minus y square and dz square shape is exactly on the axis. That's why it is less repulsion in tetrahedral, more repulsion in octahedral complex. So here the crystal field splitting energy delta T is nothing but tetrahedral 4 by 9 delta T. Then color of the complexes using crystal field theory. Color of the complexes using crystal field theory. So this concept already we have studied in D and F block elements. In D and F block elements. See, transition metals are known for colors. Already we know D and D block elements are colored. If the D block element form compound, then that compound will be colored. So why it is colored? Because of DD transition. Means the electron movement. The electron will move from T to G to Eg, one d orbital to another d orbital. That's why due to dd transition, the transition metals are known for the colors. So whichever the light is absorbed, the complementary color of that particular light will be the color of the complex. A certain wavelength of visible light is absorbed. The wavelength left unabsorbed gives the color to the complex, and this color is known as complementary color. So already I have explained with example in D and F block elements. You refer there. See now example. So the same example I have explained in D and F block elements. It is hexa aqua titanium 3 plus hexa aqua titanium 3 complex it is. So it is a violet color. It is a violet color. Why it is violet color? Why it is violet color? So it is an octahedral complex. So we know crystal field splitting T2G to Eg. So here titanium atomic number is 21, argon 18, 3d2, 4s2. Then if you find out the oxidation state, then titanium plus 3, because water is a neutral complex. Water is a neutral complex. So titanium oxidation state is plus 3. If you remove 3 electrons, 2 electrons from 4s, 1 electron from 3d, then 3d1 is remaining. 3d1 is remaining. So T2G to Eg. Now 1 electron is there, means we have to enter into T2G orbitals. So this is a crystal field splitting in octahedral complex. Now, when a certain wavelength light is absorbed, means visible region. See, they get excited to Eg. When the certain wavelength of light it is absorbed, whatever the electron present in T2G, it will move to the higher energy, that is Eg orbital. That is Eg orbital. That you see. To get excited to Eg level, the light corresponding to the energy in the blue-green region is absorbed by the complex. So blue-green color, if it absorbing, so exactly complementary color of blue-green, that is nothing but a violet color. The compound color is violet color. You can see the certain wavelength of light it is absorbed, means a blue-green color light it is absorbed. So electron will move from lower energy to higher energy level. So due to the 3D transition, the complex is violet color. The complementary color of green, whatever is there, that is violet color it is. So in the absence of ligands, the crystal field splitting does not occur, and hence the substance is colorless. If the ligands are absent, then the complex color is colorless. If ligands are not there, then that will be colorless. Removal of water from, so hexa aqua titanium 3 chloride on heating renders it colorless. So if you heat it, so what happens? Water get evaporates in the coordination complex. So only titanium is remaining. That time the complex is colorless. So anhydrous copper sulfate is white color, but when it is hydrated, it will appear blue color. Limitations of crystal field theory. The limitations of crystal field theory. The first one, the crystal field model is successful in explaining the formation, structure, color, and magnetic properties of coordination compounds to a large extent. Second one, crystal field theory considers ligands are point charges, then anionic ligands should exert the greatest splitting effect, but the anionic ligands are found at the low end of the spectrochemical series. Then crystal field theory does not take into account the covalent character of bonding between the ligand and central atom. Now last, the final, that is nothing but bonding in metal carbonyls. Bonding in metal carbonyls. See, bonding in metal carbonyls. The homoleptic carbonyls means containing only carbonyl as a ligand in a complex. So one kind, the complex is made up with the one kind of ligand, that is carbonyl homoleptic complex, are formed by most of the transition metals and have well defined structure. Well defined structure or geometry. See the first one, tetracarbonyl nickel 0. Tetracarbonyl nickel 0 is a tetrahedral. Tetracarbonyl nickel 0 is a tetrahedral. Already we know the shape of the tetrahedral structure. Then see if the coordination number is 5. Pentacarbonyl iron 0. It is nothing but trigonal bipyramidal structure. Trigonal bipyramidal structure. Same way, hexacarbonyl chromium. It is a coordination number 6. So 6 carbonyls are there, means it is a octahedral complex. It is a octahedral complex. Same way, decacarbonyl dimanganese, that is made up of two square pyramidal of pentacarbonyl manganese 0 units. So here two square pyramidal structures are joined together by metal bond, that is manganese bond will be present. You can see. Then octacarbonyl dicobalt. So here also metal bonding will be there. Metal bond will be there. So bridged with the two carbonyl groups. One metal bond will be there, metal bond, and bridging will be there. Two carbonyl group bridging will be there. Means two metals are connected to carbonyl. Two carbonyls. See here. Two carbonyl ligands are bonded to both the metals, and one metal bond is there. Now see, the metal carbon bond in metal carbonyls possesses S and P character. So both S and P character. So in that the metal carbon bond is a sigma bond. It is due to donation of lone pair of electron from carbonyl to the metal. So carbonyl is a ligand, Lewis base. So it will donate the pair of electron to the metal and it will make the sigma bond. You can see. Now the metal carbon pi bond is formed due to back bonding. How it is? It is formed by the donation of pair of electrons from a filled d orbital of metal into vacant anti-bonding. Anti-bonding means pi star. So already you have studied in first PUC. Bonding, anti-bonding. So pi star orbital of carbon monoxide. You can see. So metal electrons is entering into pi star anti-bonding orbital of ligand. So that is nothing but a pi bonding. So due to this pi bonding or due to this back bonding, the metal carbonyl bond is the strongest bond among the all. The metal to ligand bonding creates a synergic effect which strengthens the bond between carbon monoxide and the metal. Already I told you the metal carbonyl bond is the strongest bond. That is the strength it is increasing, that is nothing but a synergic effect. The stability of coordination compounds. The stability of a complex in a solution, it is referred to degree of association between the two species involved in the state of equilibrium. The magnitude of the equilibrium constant for the association expressed the stability. Thus, if we have a reaction of the type, see metal when it is combining with the 4 ligand, means ligand is donating the 4 pair of electrons to the metal and it is forming octahedral or tetrahedral or square planar complex. Then the larger the stability constant, if the stability constant is larger, then higher the proportion of metal ligand bond that exists in a solution. Consider the following. So metal is combining with one ligand. So metal ligand is formed in the reaction. So we can dissociation constant or association constant K1 is equal to molar concentration of product divided by molar concentration of reactants. Already we know. It is for first reaction. Now second reaction. Then I will take dissociation constant or association constant. K2 is equal to molar concentration of product divided by molar concentration of reactant in the reaction. The same whichever is there. Even in a third case also I will take the same molar concentration of product divided by molar concentration of reactant. In the fourth reaction also I will take the same. Now see, K1 and K2 are referred to a stepwise stability constant or formation constant. They are called stability constant or formation constant. Instead of writing stepwise, if you take directly metal is combining with the 4 ligands, then it will forming tetrahedral or square planar complex. Directly we can formation constant or stability constant, we can calculate the molar concentration of product divided by molar concentration of reactants. Either if you calculate stepwise, then all the formation constant or dissociation constant you have to multiply. So where beta 4 is the overall stability constant. In general, if you take infinity steps, then it is k1 into k2 into k3 into k4. For 4 step, if it is 5 step, k5 also comes. 6 step, k6 up to kn. The instability, now stability we have studied. Now instability constant or the dissociation constant of a coordination compounds is defined as the reciprocal of the formation constant. Whatever the stability is directly proportional to formation constant, and instability is inversely proportional.